Shalom, shalom. It's your brother Donald coming back again with another video, man. Unfortunately, some unfortunate events popped up today, man. We couldn't make it out there to the highways and byways on them street corners. But we still push this word. We got on earlier today. The brother Yeshaya did a mighty lesson on being able to be taught, right? Knowing how to be a student before you are a teacher, a follower before you are a leader, right? Mighty lesson he did on our Instagram. Matter of fact, let me put this back. Let me put that banner on here, man. If you aren't already, please follow us on all social media sites, man. It's not even about us getting no type of fame, but it's important that this edification goes forth, man. Maybe we might say something that um, might help you through your day or your week, right? So make sure you do that. Today's lesson is not going to be long at all, right? I know we don't always get on the Shabbat or on Saturday, but the work has to be done. I got to put my break in, right? And as I minister to myself, I minister to you guys, and it's right on online with the topic. The topic today is faithfully unbothered. Faithfully unbothered is brought to you by enduring and consistency, right? Without further ado, giving all honor and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We do so by way of his son, who the world inwardly knows as Jesus Christ, who we believe is an instrument of salvation for the nations, right? We're going to jump right into it. Like I said, it's not going to be long. It's going to be called Faithfully Unbothered. And like I jokingly said, man, it is brought to you by enduring and consistency, right? That is the basis of being faithfully unbothered. What do I mean by faithfully unbothered? First, let's get this definition of what it means to be unbothered, right? It's just from Google, right? It says unbothered, right? Showing or feeling a lack of concern about or interest in something. I'm gonna read that again. Showing or feeling a lack of concern about an interest in or something, right? So showing little concern for a matter, right? A lot of people use this in the world, man. You know how somebody can be unbothered about certain things somebody might say to them, things of that nature. It's kind of along those lines, right? I got a few precepts we're gonna get into, man, about 3 of them. But ultimately, it's just an exhortation for us in this truth, whether you be a brother or a sister, and hopefully somebody can get something out of it. But faithfully unbothered, let's get into it. The first precept I'm going to go to is going to be Matthew chapter 8. And we're going to start at verse number 23. The king himself, right? Who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ. We're going to read about him. So this is verse 23. And I think we're going to read down to about verse 27 or 28, right? Verse 23, it says, and when he was entered into oh, snap. Whew. I forgot, man. Let me I gotta show my screen, man. Y'all couldn't even see, but I'm gonna share my screen with y'all. This is how I like to do it, right? So verse 23, and when he was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him, talking about Christ, right? And behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, insomuch that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep, right? Oh man, this is great. Verse 24, where it says, and behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, right? When we read this word tempest, right, we see that this, whatever it was, right, could have been, Satan, could have been, could have been anything, right? But it calls it a tempest, letting you know that this was a temptation, right? And a lot of times what temptation is to get you the opposite of unbothered. Temptation is literally set forth to bother you, right? To see if you will be unbothered or bothered by that temptation, right? What was the temptation here? It was in the sea, and so much that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. I mean, you think about it as covered with the waves, that means the waves was going pretty much over the ship and splashing, and you got water coming in on the boat, things of that nature, right? Verse 25, and his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we perish. They crying out to they're crying out to Christ, saying, man, save us, man, we finna die. Right. And just knowing Christ, man, in the midst of this storm, in the midst of what it seems like, their lives about to end, what was he doing? Verse 24, it says that he was asleep. Right. And I want to highlight that because sleeping is sleeping is a normal activity that you do on a day-to-day basis. Right. Nobody has to teach you how to sleep. Nobody has to remind you to sleep for real. I mean, I know we can get busy from time to time, but when your body's shutting down, it's time to, it's an involuntary act of your body sleeping, right? Something that you do every day religiously, right? And so we see that there's a reason why I said it like that, right? But we see that he is asleep when all this chaos is going forth. Verse 26, and he said unto them, why are ye so fearful, O ye of little faith, right? By this time, if you roll around with Christ, man, if you've talked with him, if you were in your prophecies, if they were in their prophecies, if they were in the law and in the testimonies, man, they would know the Lord isn't going out like this. Christ ain't finna go out by a storm on the sea, man. If you're with Christ, man, you should feel a little bit safe, right? And so Christ goes on and tells them, hey, look, man, oh, ye of little faith, man. You have little faith. You think I'm gonna let you go out like this? You think I'm gonna go out like this, right? By some water? Come on, man. And then he says, then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm, right? I mean, he was unbothered, man. He really didn't care. What is the definition of unbothered? Showing or feeling a lack of concern about an interest in something, right? He was unbothered. He was showing little concern about them waves crashing in the sea, right? But for their sake, man, he got up and he rebuked them, and they left, right? Verse 27, but the men marveled, saying, what manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him, right? And they just totally, it's funny, man, because I'm reading this, right? And colloquial Christianity will have you thinking that the base of this story is verse 27, where it talks about what manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him, right? And it's funny because this is what they're saying, and they don't. What the actual point was just went straight over their head. Their point was, why are you fearing right now? Why are you scared for your life? Why is your faith so little? And the fact that you don't think that you're gonna make it through this, right? That was the point, to grow your faith, right? To be what? Faithfully unbothered. I brought this up though. My point was to bring this up was because to show Christ's unbotheredness, and his and the way he was the way he chose to be unbothered was to do an act that is inherently normal, or that he does on a religious basis, which is sleep, right? Pretty much saying he didn't let a situation disrupt his day-to-day activity, right? His day-to-day practices. That's a better word, right? He didn't let a situation disrupt his day-to-day practices, right? And that's why I brought that up. We're gonna go to two more, and then I'll get into my exhortation here. Let's go to the book of, yes, we got to go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, right? Remember what I said in that second verse that I read, where it said that a tempest was on the sea, right? And even when the tempest comes, you have to be what? Faithfully unbothered. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2 and verse number 1. These next two are going to be precepts that we go to all the time, but man, it's important that we hammer them in all the time as well, right? Let's see here. Boom, right? So this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 2 and verse number 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for what? For temptation. right? Set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in the time of trouble. This is good because what we just read, man, them brothers definitely did not set their heart aright, right? They weren't constantly enduring, right? And they made haste when time was in trouble, saying, help us, woe to us, our life is about to end, right? But keying in on this first verse, my son, if thou come serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Now we're getting into the meat of this lesson, right? My son, if thou come to serve the Lord. So we're going to be talking about serving the Lord at all costs, no matter what. No matter when that temptation comes. It says, prepare thy soul for temptation. We're going to go to the book of Luke, right? I believe. Let's go to Luke 9 and 26. Yeah, another classic. Tripping. There it goes. Nah, not John, dude. Luke 9 and 26, right? Luke 9 and 26, for whoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed. This is not what I wanted. I said Luke 9 and 26. I meant 62. A little bit of dyslexia right there, boy. Oh my gosh. All right. Luke 9 and 62. And Jesus said unto them, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God. Meaning, if you put your hands to, it doesn't even have to be the plow. It can be whatever tool and whatever line of work, right? It just symbolically, hypothetically speaking, if you sign up to do this work, right? And you look back into the world like, dang, I kind of miss being unemployed. You're not fit for the kingdom, right? So if you pick up that plow and you start plowing and then you see something, I don't know, it could be your friends back in the world having fun, right? You could have came down with a cold, right? You could have lost your real job, real wife stepped out on you, right? Your husband just came to you and said he wanted another wife, right? You pick up that plow, you start plowing, no matter what, that motion better not stop, right? That's what that means, right? And again, relating this back to what being faithfully unbothered. Let me answer out of that real quick. Let me talk to y'all, face to face real quick. So, man, being faithfully unbothered, we have to understand that no matter what happens to us in this world, man, we have to endure. And how do we show that we are enduring? With a level of consistency, right? Consistency is going to show us and the enemy, right? That devil, that serpent, that we are enduring, right? Consistency not only is going to show us that we're stronger than what we are, but it's going to show the devil that we're unbothered by situations that he may throw at us, right? What does consistency look like? Let's jump into a few examples, right? So if I'm a brother and I teach, right? I go out on the highways and byways or do lessons like I'm doing here right now, right? If I'm a brother and I teach, consistency looks like, although all hell is breaking loose in my life, I lost my job, having trouble at home, can't pay the rent, right? Although all that is happening, consistency says I still don't miss a day of teaching. If I sign up to go out on the street every Saturday, that's what I'm gonna do, no matter what. If I sign up and say I'm gonna be on here 2 to 3 days out the week to teach a lesson, that's what I'm gonna do. Now, I know certain people are gonna be like, but it's not everybody's lot to teach, and you can't say that, because I'm not teaching right now X, Y, and Z. I'm talking about the brother that teaches. What does this brother look like, brother? When I go to your Instagram page and you got 497 videos of you teaching, right? When everything was good, and then you haven't uploaded a video in, I don't know, 4 months or so, you know what I'm saying? Because all hell broke loose in your house, right? I'm looking at you like, yeah, the enemy just took you out. You're not unbothered, you're very bothered, right? You're very bothered, and that's a problem, man, right? There's no consistency, there's no level of endurance, right? We should be in this thing so hard, and knowing that what did Ecclesiasticus say? Prepare thyself for temptation, knowing that temptation is going to come. When it comes, it shouldn't phase us. We should expect it, and since we expect it, we keep on doing those religiously repetitive things in our lives that we practice, like sleeping every day. Don't nobody got to tell you to sleep, right? Don't nobody got to tell you to sleep. Don't nobody got to tell you to eat. Now, take this with a grain of salt, man. These are examples. I know they're not the best examples because people get into the point where they get so down that they don't want to eat, that they don't want to sleep, right? But take what I'm saying as an example, right? It should be that effective to you when those temptations come, that they come, you look to the side, okay, you keep on doing what you're doing. Like I was saying, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it should be, right? For the sisters, right? Let's see, all hell broke loose in your life. You used to do videos uplifting young sisters. You used to do videos for the kiddos, right? You used to sew fringes and make seats and make sure the nation was girded up, right? Um, you used to sing, used to rap, right? Used to act, put on little skits for the Most High. Used to do all these things, and all hell broke loose in your life. You lost your job. Your husband started talking to you crazy. All these things started happening, and then what? You stop, right? Not to pick on a sister, man, but I was just joking with a sister the other day. But just to encourage her, man, to stay consistent in this thing. But I told her, I said, "Hey, man, did you retire from singing? You know, we ain't heard nothing from a while, boy, girl. Did you retire from singing? What's going on, man?" And hopefully she caught what I was trying to say. I wasn't really trying to, really get into her studio sessions or anything like that. But I'm just trying to encourage my brothers and sisters. Hey, look, no matter what happens in your life, stay consistent through these temptations. Stay consistent through these bad things that may happen in your life, because that's all they are, temptations to get you off track, to bother you, right? The number one thing, and I'll say this, man, and I'll close out. I told you it's not going to be a long video. I just want to get a quick exhortation. But the number one thing that's going to help, right? How can I say this? It's going to help get that monkey off your back, get that devil off your case, is if you have a level of endurance that comes with consistency, doing things that you practice when everything is good, even when it's bad. Easier said than done, but we have to do it. You're going to see how fast your life turns around, how fast that temptation leaves you, how fast them sleepless, how because I just used that example, so I can't use that example right now. But how fast that job comes back around. Maybe you get rehired. Maybe you get hired by a better job, right? How fast your husband starts loving you properly again, right? You'll see when you stay consistent, when you stay in the fight, when you endure, when you're unbothered. It's just like anything, right? If you're in school and you got a bully, right? If that bully keeps tempting you, keeps annoying you, if you stop giving that bully attention, right? That bully's gonna go bother somebody else. The art of being unbothered. If you wanna, if I was gonna say, I don't know if that one fits. I'm gonna say it anyway. Watch this, right? Track with me. If you want a girl, right, and she's not giving you attention, and she's acting like you're a nuisance, right? She's playing hard to get. The best way for you to get that girl is to act unbothered, like you don't want her anymore, right? Man, the art of being unbothered is the recipe that you need to have to get rid of all that temptation, all the bad in your life. And check this out, right? Check this out. Like the three Hebrew boys, right? Like the three Hebrew boys, whether he saves us or not, right? That's still what we're required to do, right? Whether that temptation leaves or not, that's still what we're required to do. I love the story of Job, because Job lost everything but his faith. He actually lost faith in himself before he lost faith in his situation and with God, right? He actually lost faith in himself before he lost faith in God. Same thing we got to do, right? Be faithfully unbothered. So again, man, what is that? The number one thing to get that monkey off your back, to get that devil off your case: endurance, with the level of consistency. I'm Brother Donald. This has been a quick exhortation. Hope you guys have a good rest of the night. Giving all honor, glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, by way of his son, who was an instrument of salvation for the nation. I'm Brother Donald, and I say shalom. Study hard, man. Keep enduring. Stay consistent. Khan.